I get very involved in the design of the dresses. I don't know if it's just that I'm a Virgo or that I need a life.
According to Justin Baldoni, Lively, who was hired as an actor to play Lily Bloom in the film, allegedly insisted on control over her character's costume before filming even began. He also included one alleged example of Blake's behavior. He said Blake insisted her character had money and could afford shoes that cost $5,000, which led to Justin rethinking the entire script that had been worked on for well over a year and had been approved by both studios.
These Christian Louboutin heels are 1000% not vintage or thrifted. Neither are these Saint Laurent boots. When I saw these Saint Laurent boots show up on the screen, I immediately clocked out because I was like, this is a fail. I don't know who dressed her this way. This makes no sense for this character. So when I found out she did it herself because she didn't want to work with the costume designer, it all made sense.
Blake Lively has often been praised for her style, but critics argue that her relationship with the fashion industry tells a very different story. According to various reports, her reputation among designers has suffered to the point where many are no longer interested in collaborating with her. One of the biggest reasons frequently mentioned is a lack of trust. When fashion houses loan celebrities expensive gowns, suits, or jewelry for red carpet events, there is a clear understanding. The items must be handled with care and returned as soon as the event is over. This long-standing system allows stars to wear luxury pieces worth thousands without purchasing them outright. However, reports claim Blake did not always follow those expectations. Sources connected to a production allegedly said the wardrobe department ended up feeling more like a personal shopping experience than a costume fitting. Instead of every borrowed designer piece being returned, it was reported that several items were never sent back, leaving Wayfarer Studios responsible for covering the cost of the missing wardrobe.
The boots were mine.
I love
there's these great Louboutins that are also a close-up on them when we're dancing in the bar. Those are mine. I have a few of my husband's shirts and socks randomly in the movie. I have some of Gigi Hadid's sweaters in the movie.
According to reports, It Ends With Us was originally expected to spend about $185,000 on wardrobe for its two lead actors. However, Blake Lively allegedly took creative control over the costume choices, sidelining the wardrobe team responsible for shaping her character's appearance. Instead of dressing Lily Bloom based on the character's circumstances, she reportedly pushed for outfits that reflected her own personal style. Lily Bloom was written as someone managing a flower shop while facing financial challenges, yet reports claim Blake requested luxury items, including $5,000 designer shoes, despite them not being necessary for the story. As production continued, her wardrobe expenses reportedly climbed to $615,000, leaving the film roughly $430,000 over its planned clothing budget. Reports also allege that Blake brought some of her own fashion pieces onto the set and billed the production for using them. She later mentioned on a fan account that she had loaned the movie a crystal boot valued at around $3,000, presenting it as a contribution that helped the wardrobe department.
This helps us understand the disconnect a little bit, because a flower shop owner probably could not afford shoes that cost $5,000. And it also, again, just contradicts the portrayal of Lily in the book, who seems practical with her wardrobe and probably would not spend $5,000 on a pair of shoes. It doesn't add up, so it feels off.
Luxury fashion isn't created overnight. High-end garments often require hundreds of hours of craftsmanship, with designers carefully selecting fabrics based on how they flow, reflect light, and fit the body. Delicate materials such as silk and satin also demand expert care, including steaming, pressing, and careful handling before they are worn in public. According to critics, Blake Lively's decision to forego working with a stylist has sometimes resulted in expensive outfits appearing wrinkled and poorly prepared. When she arrived at the federal courthouse in New York, many observers pointed to the condition of her suit. Although the outfit itself was a luxury piece, visible creases and folds led some to describe it as untidy rather than polished. For fashion designers, presentation is everything. A silk dress photographed with heavy wrinkles can influence how the public perceives both the garment and the brand behind it. Designers invest countless hours to ensure every piece looks flawless on the red carpet or at public events. Critics argue that when those garments appear crumpled or unprepared, it can undermine the craftsmanship and attention to detail that went into creating them, making a luxury design look far less impressive than
Bottom
intended.
of a suitcase.
Blake, how are you doing today? Blake, how has this affected you?
Fashion is more than wearing expensive clothes, it also reflects an understanding of the occasion. The right outfit should match the tone of the event and show respect for its purpose. Critics argue that Blake Lively failed to strike that balance during the It Ends With Us promotional tour. The film was centered on the difficult subject of abusive relationships, and as both its lead actress and a producer, many expected her public appearances to reflect the seriousness of that message. Instead, critics say the press tour focused heavily on glamorous fashion. Blake appeared in bright pink mini dresses, floral prints, glittering ensembles, and party-style looks that some felt clashed with the film's sensitive themes. While survivors and advocacy groups were hoping for a campaign that highlighted the movie's message, many felt the promotion came across more like a light-hearted girls' night out. According to those critics, the disconnect wasn't just noticeable, it was viewed as disrespectful. Many also point to the 2026 Met Gala as a turning point in Blake's standing within the fashion world. Traditionally, luxury fashion houses invite celebrities to attend, cover the cost of their seats, create custom designs, and host them at their tables. For years, Blake was considered one of the gala's biggest stars, regularly wearing exclusive gowns and receiving major red carpet attention. This time, however, the situation reportedly changed. On the day of the event, she unexpectedly ended her lawsuit with Justin Baldoni. Reports claim the timing was intended to shift public attention away from the legal dispute and toward her appearance on the red carpet. But critics argue the plan backfired, as discussion quickly centered on how she attended the event rather than the dress itself. According to those reports, no major fashion house invited Blake as its guest, and she instead paid approximately $100,000 for her own ticket to attend without a brand sponsorship.
Factually, I know that PR is paid for, but it's my opinion that she paid for this. Just like how it's my opinion that she paid to get into the Met Gala. Because if Anna Wintour actually invited her, they wouldn't need an insider to tell us that that's what happened.
Clothes only look good if they fit perfectly. Professional stylists bring expert tailor to make sure a dress fits the star's exact body shape. They spend hours making adjustments so that when that star walks out on that red carpet, everything else looks perfect. But Blake Lively refuses to hire a stylist, and that leads to something the industry calls the tailoring trap. She refuses to let experts change the loaned clothing while refusing to accept her true clothing size. And this has led to some genuinely terrible behavior.
It was said that she would not work with the wardrobe designer. She would not wear the things that the wardrobe designer had selected for her.
According to accounts shared by people in the fashion industry, Blake Lively's behavior during wardrobe fittings has also contributed to her strained relationships with designers and stylists. These stories are presented by individuals who say they witnessed the interactions firsthand rather than hearing about them secondhand. One stylist reportedly arrived with a selection of high-end dresses that had been carefully chosen based on Blake's measurements and professional fitting assessments. Before trying any of them on, however, reports claim Blake insisted the dresses were too large and reacted angrily. According to those accounts, the exchange escalated to the point where she allegedly yelled at the stylist, who was left in tears, while demanding that smaller sizes be brought instead. Critics argue that moments like these are especially frustrating for designers, whose garments often require hundreds of hours of planning, craftsmanship, and detailed construction. They believe such treatment shows little respect for the work and artistry behind each piece. According to this narrative, many in the fashion world have become reluctant to collaborate with Blake because they feel her attitude toward fittings and designer creations has overshadowed the craftsmanship they value so highly.
She is wearing this brown crop top bodysuit and a brown cardigan over top as well, and maybe that relates back to Blake Brown. Either way, I don't really understand wearing black leather and blue denim with brown. Again, I think that there needed to be a filter because otherwise we just get deranged moments like this.
Early in her career, Blake Lively landed some of the fashion industry's most prestigious opportunities. In 2011, she was personally selected by Karl Lagerfeld to front Chanel's Mademoiselle handbag campaign. A year later, she became the face of Gucci Premier Fragrance, two high-profile partnerships that many actresses would consider career-defining achievements. According to critics, however, those relationships did not last. Both the Chanel and Gucci collaborations eventually came to an end, and they argue that Blake no longer holds any long-term ambassador roles with major luxury fashion houses. To them, that shift reflects a dramatic change from being one of fashion's most sought-after stars to no longer having ongoing partnerships with leading brands. Critics claim the reason goes beyond changing trends. They argue that luxury fashion brands value celebrities who work closely with creative directors and embrace collaboration throughout campaigns. According to this narrative, Blake often preferred to take control of projects, believing her own creative vision should take priority over the team's direction. Reports suggest she frequently overruled the professionals responsible for shaping campaigns, creating friction with the very people behind the industry's biggest brands. As a result, critics believe many fashion houses gradually chose to end their partnerships rather than continue dealing with those conflicts. Instead of making a public issue of it, they reportedly allowed existing contracts to expire and quietly moved on, favoring ambassadors they felt were more collaborative and easier to work with.
I just don't like her choice of bow tie.
It's very like Greatest Showman. Like it looks like she's gonna be like, step right up and down elephants and bearded ladies. Quick, put your pants back on. Mom's coming.
Fashion isn't just about expensive clothes, it's about reputation. And according to critics, Blake Lively's biggest fashion problem isn't what she wears, but how she wears it and the way she works with the industry behind it. The criticism intensified after the It Ends With Us premiere, where Blake wore the same iconic rainbow Versace dress Britney Spears made famous in 2002. While she described it as a tribute, critics argued it reflected a larger pattern, claiming she often borrows inspiration from stars like Gigi Hadid, Taylor Swift, and even Princess Diana instead of creating a signature style of her own. They say true fashion icons set trends while Blake follows them. Critics also argue that Blake misunderstands how luxury fashion partnerships work. When brands loan celebrities dresses worth tens of thousands of dollars, they expect public recognition in return. According to this narrative, because Blake styles herself, she rarely highlights the designers behind her outfits, choosing instead to promote her own ventures. Critics claim that leaves fashion houses with little incentive to keep dressing her. Reports from the It Ends With Us production paint a similar picture behind the scenes. Blake allegedly overruled the professional costume department, skipped scheduled wardrobe fittings, and had the entire wardrobe team transport clothing to her Manhattan home instead of visiting the studio herself. She also reportedly brought in a longtime collaborator and pushed for Gossip Girl-style fashion references that critics say clashed with a film centered on domestic abuse, increasing costs while undermining the character's realism. Fashion experts argue that the smallest details separate polished style from amateur mistakes. Professional stylists check every crease, hemline, tag, and accessory before a celebrity steps outside. Critics say Blake's refusal to rely on that expertise has repeatedly hurt her image. One example frequently cited was an August 2024 New York appearance where an attempt at a bold Versace look was overshadowed by a noticeable wardrobe mistake. In fashion, talent may open the door, but collaboration keeps it open. Once an industry believes someone values personal control over professional teamwork, rebuilding that trust becomes the hardest runway walk of all.